She doesn't even go here.
I'm bi, actually.
Excuse me. Could the ugly, untalented gays please report to the principal's office?
Hi, I'm Kurt Homo, and I'll be auditioning for the role of kicker.
Hello! Welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Not So Straight Nerds. I'm your host, Luke.
And I'm your host, Alicia.
And today, we are talking about Avatar Fire and Ash.
Woo-hoo!
We are also going to talk a little bit on the previous Avatar installments. We haven't really talked about them before. I honestly don't even know where else they would have popped up in any of our conversations. So I'm very excited about it.
They're very interesting movies because obviously they make a huge impact. I mean, they're $2 billion movies. But I feel like, and everyone talks about them when they're coming out, but then people always mention that they don't make I don't know if like cultural impact is the right word, but
I will say I don't think they show up in pop culture.
yes.
Like, you don't see anyone going around with, like, Avatar swag on.
Mm-mm.
And I think that's interesting.
It's interesting.
I want to circle back to this conversation.
Okay.
But
Sounds
before we
good.
get too deep into all of the conversations to be had today,
Vibe check.
how are the vibes?
Well, as some of y'all may notice, if you pay attention to detail, I have a new microphone. It's not really a new microphone. I've had it as long as I've had that microphone, but I didn't have a plug-in, and audio things aggravate me to no end. But I figured it out because my other microphone was dying more and more by the day. So I was like, it's time. I got paid. Let's do it. It's time. So here we are. Next time you see us, probably, hopefully, I will have a stand like that and won't have to hold it. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm great. I'm excited. I guess I'm a little nervous. Part of me wants to play this audio back a little bit just to make sure. So we don't record the freaking Avatar video. And then the audio doesn't work. But it looks like it's working. It just took a hot minute and lots of Amazon orders to get here.
But we're here.
Anyways. Yeah. But I'm excited to talk about this because I really like these movies. Yeah. That's what it is.
I'm vibing. I've watched a lot of movies this weekend.
Dude, me too.
A lot of specifically SpongeBob movies, which is crazy.
In anticipation for the new release, SpongeBob Search for SquarePants.
I'm excited.
So,
we'll see if the critics are right, if it's better than Avatar.
no, that's like much better too. Avatar's like at a 70-ish, and SpongeBob last I saw was at a 90. So
crazy.
That's the real movie of the year.
Evidently.
No, critics have always been kind of weird with Avatar, but we'll talk about that later. Yeah, I've been on a Christmas movie binge. Heavy Christmas movie binge. I have a list on my Letterboxd, which I should look up my username and start talking about that on here so y'all can go to that. But anyways, I have added 48 movies to a list titled Christmas movies. And I've been going through all of them. Anything that I haven't seen, I'm for sure seeing, and then I'm rewatching some of them, not all of them.
I'm very curious to see what your first time watch list looks like at the end of this month.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna be mostly Christmas movies, so yeah, we'll see. Another exciting thing that we've started talking about is since we have some time off for the Christmas holiday, we're hoping to film more than we usually would. Good thing too, because we have a lot to film. Indeed. So we're hoping to do an episode on it soon. We've held off because we've been wanting to rewatch the movies.
Yes.
We never did a birthday special for Luke. Poor Luke, his birthday was last month. So we're finally gonna get to that though at some point, and then we're gonna do a somewhat Christmas special / December recap. We're gonna kind of combine those, and then we're hoping to see Marty Supreme and Hong Sung Blue this weekend. Maybe we'll see. Hopefully. 2025 recap, 2026 anticipation. So we have a lot coming. Hopefully, if all goes to plan. anyways, yeah.
And
get
it will
that.
all go to plan.
Right? Hopefully. Anyways.
Alrighty. So I'm going to throw this out there for you lovely viewers out there that we are going to be talking spoilers. We're going to be talking spoilers for all 3 of the Avatar movies. If you have not seen them, go see them. And then circle on back here. Enjoy our conversation.
Yep.
We'll see you then. So now that you've been warned, we're going to start out with some ranking like we usually do.
Yeah.
First up, we are going to be ranking the James Cameron directed films that we have seen.
Yeah.
I have 6, you have 5, is that correct?
Yes. He doesn't have a crazy ton, which I think makes sense when you think about how long these Avatar movies take to make. I mean, he's basically dedicating, not the rest of his, maybe the rest of his career. I mean, he's pretty old, so maybe. Sorry. So sorry. You look great, but anyway.
Sorry, James.
But yeah, he might end it up after Avatar 5. We'll see. Hopefully, he gets to do Avatar 4 and 5.
He said
Sure hope
he
so.
said that he's planned for Avatar 7.
Oh.
That's what I've heard.
I'll continue to watch these as long as he makes them, because if nothing else, where any parts of the story may be weak or perhaps unoriginal, the visuals make up for it, so much so, and more so than I feel like I always talk about, I don't hate the Star Wars sequels as much as so many other people because of how beautiful those movies are. This is different. This is the technology that goes into this. I mean, I thought about constantly throughout Fire and Ash how everything that we see is fake, but it doesn't look fake. It's crazy. So, anyways, I would watch them as many as he gets to make. So, yeah.
Alrighty, I'm gonna get us started off, since I have one more than you. So
Yes.
at number 6, I have The Terminator. And let me just say, this being at the bottom of the list is crazy.
I like all the films on my list.
It's still a great movie, and it's at the bottom.
Yeah.
I will say I still have yet to go through the entire Terminator franchise.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the only Terminator movie I've sat down and watched all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
Really solid, inspired casting with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it's very fun ideas. Clearly, it still has such a it's still so important and topical today, with Skynet and AI. It's crazy that he was so on top of that. I will say I was a little, considering how hyped up the first 2 movies are, I was a little surprised that I wasn't super blown away the way I was with the Avatar movies and such.
Yeah.
But I've yet to see Terminator 2, and I've heard that is an amazing movie. So I'm very excited to get around to that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I want to get around to them as well. Who knows when I will. Once I'm done with the Christmas movies, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. This has been my life for a while, so we'll see. Maybe I'll watch those. I don't know. I don't know what mood I'll be in.
Who's
So,
to say?
Yeah. Yeah, so I also really like all the movies on my list. So this one being in last kind of hurts, but I put Aliens. I thought it was solid. I'm going to be honest, I don't super remember this movie a lot. I don't remember any of the Alien movies a crazy ton. They're kind of like a fever dream. But I looked on Letterboxd because I knew I'd seen this one, and I rated it, I think, 3 stars, 3.5, something like that. So, solid. Would recommend. 3 is my, would recommend cutoff. Anything lower than that, I'm maybe watch something else. But, yeah. Anyways.
At number 5, I have Avatar: Way of Water.
Criminally low.
Gorgeous movie. Watching it in 3D was crazy. And water, it has a beach day vibe throughout it, which I think is fun, if not a little jarring after the first one. Yeah, I think the family's a fun addition. And then I'll probably talk about why it's this low when we start talking about the Avatar movies.
Yeah. I put Fire and Ash. Avatar Fire and Ash is my number 4. Obviously, we'll talk about that because that's the majority of this video. Still think it's great. You know, I've been thinking about, because I did give it 3.5 stars, but I had been feeling that that was a little bit low, but I rated the other 2 Avatar movies 4 stars. So I'm more so thinking that I kind of want to bump everything up half a star to where this one is 4 stars, and then Avatar is like 4.25, and Avatar Way of Water is like 4.5. Sorry
She's
for the
going
spoilers.
to the quarter
but-
increments.
No, but like that's right. So sorry for the slight spoilers there, but that's where I'm at. I'm like 3.5 just seems wrong because I enjoyed a lot of this movie, so, but I feel like there are some clear problems for me that I don't quite have for the other 2 movies, so that's why I would confidently put it in last for me, even though it's still really good, still beautiful, but we'll get to that later. Anyways,
At number 4, I have Avatar Fire and Ash. Obviously, we're going to be talking a lot about this one.
yeah,
I love the new inclusions of the different tribes. I think they both come in and do something very different than the other tribes have done in these other movies. And overall, I think its themes are maybe the most elevated of the Avatar franchise. And yeah, that's where I'm going to leave that before we come back and circle around to it.
yeah. My number 3 is the first original Avatar movie. Obviously, this is a classic for a reason. Kickstarted such a big, iconic franchise. The technology is just astounding. Jake Sully has never looked hotter than this film. So, he had like a slutty little waist in this movie, and I'm like, wait, before he got like the more like protector dad bod or whatever. It's never looked better. Neytiri was also a baddie, but you know, that's nothing new. All 3 films. So, yeah, we'll talk a little more about that later.
I'm on number 3. I have Aliens. I think it's in a minority of people who actually prefers Aliens over Alien. I've seen someone say that it's like the difference between like liking like the preference for like action adventure over the horror-esque genre. And I don't know. I just love the aesthetic. I think the numbers, like the swarm of them is just so terrifying and so much, like, I think it elevates it really well from what's already a really great movie with the original. And then having the alien queen, I think, is so iconic. And then like the nest that they build with like the corpses inside of it. I truly just think so. And the tracker, when it like goes off and suddenly you just see them surrounded, but they don't see them because they're in the ceiling. Ugh, so many great and iconic moments.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen any of the Alien movies, so can't say for sure that I would share the same opinion as is on my list, or if it would also be higher for me now. I don't know. I'm sure I'll revisit the franchise one day, maybe with season 2 of Alien Earth, even though I'm not planning on seeing that, so maybe not. But anyways, this next one I put Avatar Way of Water. I think there's, it says wow when you condense the words there. So I think that's all that needs to be said. I'm kind of in the Zoe Rose Bryant train of like how much she loved that movie. I'm like, I get it. I didn't watch it that many times because I was, I think, a teenager when I was in college. I was a broke college student, so couldn't really afford to see movies that often. But it's like forever iconic how many times she watched that movie. It was a lot. It was like at least 10 times. Yeah, I get it. I love this movie. So, anyways.
At number 2, I have Titanic. So iconic. Yeah, and I also just have a weird, like, interest in the Titanic in general, and I, like, love
Very
whenever,
interesting.
like, movies and shows explore that stuff.
Yeah.
Crazy that it took me so long to actually sit down and watch this movie beginning to end. I have watched the ship go down, like, 20 times growing up. But I finally saw the beforehand now.
So you've seen the second half of the movie.
A lot, even.
Yeah, that's my number one. So I'll just piggyback off that. Yeah, I love the Titanic. I don't know. I would be okay switching this in Avatar Way of Water, but Titanic's like a masterpiece to me. I think it's phenomenal how long it is and how it doesn't really feel that way. Or if it does, it's still holding your attention the entire time. You want to be there for however long it lets you be there. I think it's awesome how long it takes for the ship to go down. And I loved reading about, since I was rewatching it when you watched it for the first time, I felt okay not paying quite as much attention because I wanted to scroll through the IMDb like trivia facts, whatever. There's a lot of interesting things on there because I think it said the ship going down, that whole sequence was as long as it happened in real life, which I think is awesome. It's one of those bits of information that's like, James Cameron, you are exactly who you think you are in the best way. So there you go. Anyways.
And then my number one is the original Avatar. I think bringing Pandora to life and just, it's so great. It's such a fully realized world. The people there, it's so believable. Very iconic story. It's the relationship between Neytiri and Jake Sully.
God, I'll admit though, before I watched that second one, I had to rewatch the first one to remember what his name was. So sorry, man.
The cast is great. The visuals are iconic. The creature designs, like when the forest glows, that is, whoo, just such a great and iconic time. And I think that this is James Cameron's
magnum opus.
Essentially, yeah. I think Titanic is right up there as well. I totally understand people switching them out, but they're such different films.
Yeah.
And for him to like knock out both of them.
Both. And like when I was reading about Titanic, the amount of times that they were like, this caused the film to almost not happen or almost fail, or Kate Winslet almost quit, and like it was crazy. But then it's a masterpiece. It happened, and it's a masterpiece. So. Yeah, I erased mine. Here's my list. Here's mine.
Nothing.
I hope you're ready for nothing.
Lord.
Anyway.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and just read out this next ranked instead of writing all of them.
I'm cool with that. Okay.
So next up, we are going to rank the $1 Billion Club movies of the 2020s. So we do this because most likely, almost impossible not to happen, Avatar Fire and Ash is going to cross the $1 Billion Club.
At some point in time.
Probably pretty quick if I had to guess. I'm going to guess before 2026 we're going to see
Ooh.
a $1 billion in front of that.
Yes.
So, let's see what company it's going to be in. So far, as of recording this, there are $12 billion movies in the 2020s.
Because we are not counting Fire and Ash yet, because it has not actually crossed it yet.
So, I'll go ahead and start if that's fine.
Yeah.
So, just going through my list, bottom to top. Number 12, I have Lilo and Stitch. Crazy. Number 11, I have Moana 2.
Cute story, bad music.
Horrible musical.
Bad music. Mm-hmm.
10, I have Jurassic World Dominion. I enjoy this a little more than I think most people do. I think people think the bugs are in it a lot more than they are. I only remember them being in like 2 scenes.
Listen, those bugs scarred that movie for me. I'm one of those people.
At number 9, I have Super Mario Bros. The movie. I think it's very solid. I'm very excited to see Super Mario Galaxy jump off of the first one. I'm very hyped for that one. Zootopia 2, which is the first one from this year. Super
No.
solid. That on my list.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait.
Oh no, it isn't. Lilo and Stitch is. But
Oh,
we don't
yeah,
have
you
to
already
talk about
said
Lilo
that,
and
okay.
Stitch. I think it's a solid sequel. I don't think it elevates as much as I was wanting it to, I'll
Yeah,
say.
me too.
But still solid.
Yeah.
And then I have Avatar: Way of Water. Super fun. Love seeing the characters again. Family Edition was fun. Beach Day. Number 6, I have Inside Out 2. I think I'm in a little bit of minority that I feel like I still prefer the first one to the second one because I think it does.
Crazy.
I think the world building is just so much better in the original,
Ah.
and I think it's like very not done as well. But anxiety and the new emotions, I think, carry that a lot. Number 5, I have Deadpool and Wolverine. So fun. I think the best Wolverine that we've seen yet, I would say.
Okay.
Maybe outside of Logan.
Yeah. I was
I'd
about to say
outside
not
of
Logan.
That's fair. But I don't know. Seeing him in the costume does a lot.
I liked when he pulled the mask up. I thought that was awesome. People were like, that's so cheesy. Why is it attached? Why would you have it separately? You're going to lose it. It's going to fly off. Anyways.
Then at 4, I have Neja 2. Whoo! That animation. Oh my gosh. It
Awesome.
better get the recognition it freaking deserves.
I don't know. Some of those short lists, I'm a little nervous. I'm like, oh, where is it?
At number 3, I see Top Gun Maverick. Whoo! So fun.
Great movie.
God, such I think a leveling up of the original. And like the modernizing of it. I think
People
it's so great.
remember the original as, I think, maybe better than
Oh,
it
they
was.
definitely remember it much better than it was.
Because it's solid. It has its moments, but it's not like
Even like
a masterpiece.
even like the scores on it are like pretty like mid-level. I'm like, and then
I-
I watch it. I'm like, oh yeah, I like see why they're there.
Yeah, no, I'm so thankful for Top Gun Maverick for showing people or making people realize, oh yeah, the original was okay. This is a masterpiece. So
At number 2, I have Spider-Man: No Way Home. What a moment in time.
I also never left the hype train for that. I still love that movie. Yeah, I think it's a shame that people are like, it was just a cameo fest. You're actually just objectively wrong. So, anyway.
Because that's not
Because
what
they actually do contribute to the story a lot.
They're characters in the story. If you want to talk about a cameo fest, Multiverse of
Madness. Ugh. Anyways.
And then number 1, I have Barbie. Hey, Ken.
Okay.
Hi, Barbie.
Anyways.
Okay.
Hi, Ken. Anyways. Okay, so I feel like I don't have a crazy similar list, but it's like similar vibes for most of these movies. Anyways. Number 12, I did put Jurassic World Dominion. I am one of those that is scarred by the bugs. I don't know. I'll have to rewatch it. And one day maybe I will. Anyways. Then I have Lilo and Stitch. Yeah. Didn't need to make the changes to the film that it did. And now it sends a bad message. So, there you go. And it's just, just doesn't look near as good as the original. The original is amazing. Anyway. Then we have Moana 2, like I said. Cute story. If the songs were better, I would have liked this much better. But the songs were not it. Especially the Chihu one. I can't stand that song. Can't stand it. I like the villain song, the Get Lost
It's
one.
easily the best one.
Yeah. Because it's actually catchy. The songwriters.
It's a song that
give it a
actually
vibe.
rhymes.
Yeah. Crazy concept that your songs would need to rhyme. Anyways. Then I have big jump here, people. Big jump. Don't come for me. Big jump. Zootopia 2. I really liked this film, but I agree with you. I feel like it didn't elevate it like some other Disney sequels or non-Disney sequels have done. I think of like Inside Out 2. I went into it having a scale of like Moana 2 and Inside Out 2, and this was like solidly in the middle for me. I feel like that's my new scale, is that's now my middle mark, where it's arguably just as good as the first one, but not really better or worse. So solid addition, and I'm glad it's doing really well. Then I have Deadpool and Wolverine, lower than it is on yours, but I still love it. I feel like for some reason maybe I'm not. It's hard because the rest of my movies I adore. So I don't know. I feel like it just proves how awesome this list is overall, that it's this low. Anyways, then I have the Super Mario Bros. Movie. I loved this movie. I thought it was awesome. I am very excited for the Galaxy movie, and how hopefully it seems to be elevating it in a fun way. Very excited for Rosalina, Baddie, Brie Larson.
And Bowser Jr. I love Bowser Jr. He's like my pick in all of the games. I love him so much.
Take you, my father. No.
I'm Bowser Jr.
No, he's great.
Your honor.
Rosalina was one of those. As a kid, I played a lot of, not so much Mario Kart because I don't have any siblings or really cousins. So anytime I played video games, it was mostly with my grandparents. So, as a kid, so they much preferred the Mario and Sonic Olympic games. So they had kind of a combination of those two worlds. But they had like Peach and Daisy a lot of the time. And then so excited to hopefully see Daisy like more someday.
We'll see. Daisy's like Waluigi, where she's never really had a purpose in any actual story in the gameplay.
Yeah.
So I think there's a blank check for both of those characters.
Yeah.
Which would be interesting to see what they do with them.
But then I feel like some of the later games, or at some point I just started playing Mario Kart like with friends, like in high school and like when everybody started getting to that. So at some point in time I came across Rosalina and I really liked her. I liked her character design, and I liked playing the female characters. So, and then in the Mario and Sonic games, I liked Blaze and Amy. They were my favorites. My aunt's name is Amy, so there you go. It's fun.
And she blazes up.
She's gonna like she's gonna come here and kill you. Anyways, moving on. Then I have Inside Out 2. I loved this film. I thought it shocked me in the best way. Also, I saw this in the Disney Springs AMC, and there's like no greater experience of like experiencing a really good Disney movie in like the Disney theater essentially. I also, when they re-released some of the they really re-released Soul, Luca, and Turning Red. I didn't get to see Luca, and then I saw Soul before I was there, and I saw Turning Red in that theater too, and that was also awesome because everyone there, it was a full theater, everybody appreciated it, and so I was very excited. Anyways, off topic. Then I have Neja 2. The fact that this is number 5 on my list, again, further proves how awesome this list is because it's amazing. I really could switch any of my top 5 and I would be okay with that in any order. Anyways, then I have No Way Home. Amazing. I saw this in a huge theater with a bunch of people I knew and were friends with, and the hype was there. The hype was real. I almost didn't get a ticket though, because even though I said I wanted to go, there was miscommunication. They didn't think I wanted to go, but then they had an extra ticket, so it was okay. So it worked out really well. Then I have Avatar: The Way of Water. Like I said, I love this movie. Visually stunning, very fun, coming back from such a long wait and having a great film. So then I have, which might shock you a little bit, I don't know, my number 2 and my number 1 is Barbie, and then Top Gun Maverick. Might shock you because actually I had Barbie in my Letterboxd top 4 at one point in time. I don't know, Top Gun Maverick is just like, it makes you feel awesome, it makes you feel alive, and then Barbie's like makes you have like, it's like sadder, but it's also I don't know. It makes you feel more things than I think Top Gun Maverick does, a wider range of emotions. But Top Gun Maverick is like the serotonin has never been higher. Am I saying that right? Is serotonin also like
That's the happy
yes,
hormone.
but also dopamine is also that isn't that also a happy emotion?
I think
Guys,
so.
I don't know.
No.
I was feeling
We are
all-
not scientists.
No, I was feeling all the happiness, whatever that may be called. I was feeling intense levels of it when I saw this movie. So, yeah, because I kind of grew up on Top Gun because my dad loved it. So, anyways,
Okay.
that's my list.
Rad. Well, pulling away from lists, we are going to turn our attention to the OG Avatar. Blue people, not arrow head.
Yeah, I mean, I totally get why people say this is kind of like a ripoff. Not that I like agree.
I will say it didn't start out that way, but unfortunately, the way they're leaning is aggressively like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
there's no
the fire
really
people, yeah.
the fire people, the air, the wind tribe. Like, come on.
Water Link. Yeah. I mean, it's there and it's there for a reason. Also, people have heavily compared there's at least the original story to Pocahontas.
Oh, it's very Pocahontas coded.
And I totally agree with that. But I do think the technology that they use, the character design, the world design, the creature design, I think that makes it unique enough to still make it very, very enjoyable and very unique in its own right, even if maybe it's some story elements and maybe takes maybe a little too much from some places.
I wouldn't even say too much with the first one. I think because
Yeah. It's when they start doing, okay, now the water and now the fire, and I'm like, okay. Well, now we're in that territory.
But I think it's really interesting in the vein of it being very similar to Pocahontas, in the vein of like the love story and like loving the land that your love interest comes from.
Yeah.
I think it works really well to have it be an alien world that the audience isn't familiar with either.
Yeah.
And then literally seeing it come alive, like at night with like the glowing and the idea that there is this like entity or being that is kind of in touch with everything, almost Force-like esque. I
Yeah.
think that is like the most still. I don't know. I think it brings that story to life in a way that's very engaging and allows the audience to go through that.
Yeah, and I think unfortunately with Pocahontas, because it is like loosely based off a real person, and I say loosely because of the events that happened in the movie or not what happened in real life, I think people rightfully have problems with them making it a love story when it certainly wasn't in real life. Versus here, they're not using their names. It's really just like the themes of an outsider coming in and falling in love with this world, and that in itself is not problematic, and no one's ever had a problem with that. It's based on real people. So Avatar, I think, is lucky because it gets to separate itself from that. I think rightfully so, because it's not based on real life. So yeah, it's fun.
So, okay, and I want to talk about the idea of the avatars.
Yeah,
I think it's so cool.
I think it's awesome. I do.
And I love the idea that like it's like part human, part not Neytiri.
Navi.
I keep wanting to say Neytiri, but that's a person.
My grandfather always he goes to Disney a lot. He's a big Disney person. And he unfortunately always calls, he mixes up Pandora and Avatar and Navi. There's a lot of names. So he's like, the Avatar, I don't know. He calls the movie Pandora, I think, because the land is called Pandora in Disney.
No, but high key, I'm gonna stand by that's maybe what it should have been called.
Yeah.
But whatever.
It is what it is. And then they are avatars, but there's the Navi people, which are not avatars. It's different.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things.
It's different.
And then you have an Ikron, which is in the ride, the things that they ride on, the flying things. And
The
then
Banshees.
they have the Sivako! That's the iconic, like, battle cry. I forgot. I think that's what it means, like a battle cry. Anyway.
But the Avatar, and I like that it's like it has the 5 fingers instead of the 4, so it like differentiates them.
Yeah, I liked when they were, which was funny in Fire and Ash. I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but I noticed that the kids who have 5 fingers said high 4, even though they have 5 fingers. But I'm guessing it's just because every other Navi says high 4, so. But I just thought that was funny. I was like, actually, you do have 5 fingers, but it's fine. It's fine.
You're just being kind of extra right now.
No, but I love when in Avatar: Way of Water, when Korich, is that how to say his name? I always got his, yeah. Captures them for the first time and he flips him off to show that he has 5 fingers. I love that. I'm like, that's the best way you could have showed him that you have 5 fingers. Anyways. Also skipping ahead a little bit. Back to the first one.
Speaking of Quaritch, he's obviously an entity that stays throughout the movies. I think after the first one, that was a surprising twist.
Yeah.
How do we feel about Quaritch in movie 1?
I mean, obviously they were supposed to be the bad guys.
I think he's a very by-the-books villain.
Yeah, I don't think... I think the actor's doing some solid work. I'm not sure if I'm on the train. In fact, I would say I'm not on the train, except maybe in this movie where people have been talking about him as if he should be getting Oscar noms for this. I think up until this movie, the only person that deserved one was Zoe Saldana for Neytiri. I stand by that. I think Sam Worthington's doing great with Jake. I think he's very underrated. I'm glad people now know his name and his character name. Because that was a big thing when the second one was coming out. Everyone was talking about, what's the main guy's name? Like, nobody knew. So I'm very glad that people know now. And then Neytiri always saying my Jake, I think has, helped that.
Yeah.
Funny that Neytiri was the one who helped everybody know his name. But anyways, yeah, I can kind of understand some awards buzz from his performance in this movie. I think it's way too competitive for him to get a nom, much less a win. But there are people out there talking like that, and I'm like, this is the first movie where I'm like, I can see that he's doing a good job, and I think he's doing some fun work here.
Sure.
So,
sure.
I will say since we're in spoiler territory, I do hope he doesn't come back, because that's kind of some of my complaints with this movie is that he was the least interesting villain here, and he was the more utilized one. That's what I'm going to say about that. I want more of the Ash people, and I want it to focus more on them. I'm kind of tired of the humans a little bit. Even I know that's the point, but now it doesn't have to be. Now Avatar 4 can be, with the time skips, it can be something else entirely, and now we could have a potential more like civil war rather than like completely different planet people coming here.
Interesting.
Well, we'll see. I just want the Ash people to be featured more because I thought they were very interesting. So.
Fair.
And they were very sidelined in the third act, but it's okay. Whatever. We'll get to them.
So we talked him. You talked a lot about Neytiri. Any other thoughts about her in her introduction?
Oh, I just think she's great. God, she just does such great work. I was thinking in this movie, genuinely, she's up there with like Zuko from also Avatar. In terms of my favorite fictional characters, like she would be in top 5 for me. I think without even really thinking about that much more. I love her. I love her so much. I think she's such a baddie, and yeah, characters with a bow and arrow are just like so cool all the time, especially when given time to shine. Like Hawkeye, I feel like I loved him in his show when he was given time to shine and have some really cool moments. So, yeah. But even just outside of the fighting. I think she's just such a cool character before she's a mom, after she's a mom. Yeah. Oh, okay. I have thoughts about Jake Sully though, but anyways. Anyone else you want to talk about?
I think Jake Sully is like a clear next person to talk about.
Yeah. Listen, I think obviously I already said he's very attractive in the first movie. People still find him super attractive, but I think in terms of character, the second movie, and I think more so here, I found him almost kind of aggravating at times. I still liked him. I haven't gotten to the level where I dislike him, but I do heavily dislike some of his choices that I think just come from being a Marine, and because he's very hard on his children, the boys especially, and then I have problems with the fact that he has not taught his girls how to fight. I have heavy problems with that. I've seen people say, well, they probably don't want to fight or whatever. I don't care. Make them fight. Make them learn how to fight. They need to know how to defend themselves, especially after the second movie. How are you not at least forcing them to, like, learn, like, the basics of how to defend yourself, how to hide properly, or whatever?
I mean, look at their mother.
I know! It's very teary! I'm like, she probably knew so much at their age, and I get she's a princess, and it's like, it honestly makes my blood boil a little bit that they have not been taught how to fight, but the boys have, and quite frankly, Loic is a little bit not qualified to protect his sisters because he's shown time and time again that he doesn't. He does his own thing. He goes away and does his own thing, and I mean, he's like, what, like 14 or something? So I don't even think he should have the sole responsibility of doing that. I think he should be expected to help, but if you teach the girls how to fight, then everybody has like a good, decent way of defending themselves or hiding or whatever. So, and then the fact that in this movie he blames Loic for Natayam's death, I don't even care if he's literally the one that like killed him. I'm like, you can't say that to your child and then not actually apologize later. Like, I get like inviting him to fly with him was like his like way of doing that. No, you need to apologize, like actually say sorry at that point. He literally tried to kill himself after that because his father said that to him. I want him to find out that he almost did that because of his words. He probably won't, because we're probably going to get a giant time skip if we get the fourth one, but I don't know. I have problems with Jake Sully. He's pissed. He's peeving me off a little bit.
I will say he's easily the best in the first one, because at least in that point, his character is original, and I think, unfortunately, we never see him not in a time of war.
Yeah.
I think he's the most easily stale character.
I think I'm not totally surprised that people didn't remember his name going into the second one. I will say I love that scene when Neytiri saves him and puts on the oxygen mask and he sees her for the first time from his human perspective and she sees him as in his human form. Love that scene. I love them in the first movie. And I do love them here. I appreciate that even when they're having really heavy arguments in this film, that there's still clearly so much love and respect there. And even when they're having maybe like a little bit of a power struggle, like, well, I'm the woman, so like we'll just do what you say. It's clearly like he doesn't want that, even if maybe he has fallen into that. So I do appreciate that. I wish he treated his children better, but I don't really have a big problem with their relationship. I love their relationship. Mm-hmm. So, and I think ultimately Neytiri's enough of a baddie. If she actually had a problem with the way he was ever treating her or talking about her, she would do something about it. Mm-hmm. So, anyways, yeah, I think I'm good with him.
Yeah. And then I also want to talk about Awa and the concept like introduced in the first one.
Okay.
I love Awa. Like the idea of what Awa is. Mm-hmm. like this idea that it's like their god, but also it's like their god made
life
up
form?
of all of like their memories of their ancestors.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that speaks so much to like, you know, I'm trying to think about the best way to phrase this, but like, I would say un-American cultures that like really have such an influence in ancestors and your elders and what came before you. I think that speaks to a lot of like Eastern cultures, I would say.
It's so amazing to see. I think like any discussion with the god, you do run into a problem of, where's the line of them stepping in with their power? Do they never step in? So they never choose sides? And, that's a struggle there, and there's not really a good answer. I think that's
Here
always...
I feel like there kind of is a little bit
Okay.
more so because
Okay.
they're like their god, like the thing that controls Pandora is
Yeah.
limited in a capacity, and that it's like in the nature and it's in the animals. It's not this like abstract, it's not like a Zeus that can just like do whatever it wants. It's still semi-limited. Like it can't do anything about these people on a land where nature's torched and there's no animals. So like when it talks about what's her name? She's a baddie, fire baddie. And the third one,
Oh, Varang?
Varang.
Or Varong? I don't remember how to say her name, but I know how to spell it.
Yes.
It looks like Varang.
When it talks about like Awa not doing anything to stop the fire from spreading.
Yeah.
I understand where she's coming from, and I love that choice. But it's like, well, you know what? If there's no creatures, what's she gonna do? Like, she's a little bit limited.
Yeah, I think I understand both sides, which is why it's such an interesting conversation. Plus, they kind of have like a cult vibe going on, like pretty
for sure.
heavily. And that's one of the things that really interested me. Like, wow, they're almost building their own like religion or whatever, their own belief, since they've outcast Awa. So that conversation is really interesting to me, which is why I hope if they do have future movies, they explore that more and have that maybe more as a center focus, since we didn't get that crazy ton here. So we got a good amount, but anyways.
Oh, and then Sigourney Weaver in the first one. I think I love Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
And I think this is one of her, I would say outside of Alien, it's one of her best performances.
I agree. I think she's great. My only problem is, even though I like Kiri and Spider, like I've seen their chemistry, I knew at some point they were probably gonna be a couple. It still bugs me that I know that it's like 70-year-old Sigourney Weaver in the mocap suit. I'm like, does that mean like they kissed? Does that mean they kissed? Like I'm almost drawing a tear just thinking about it. I can't. Like, that's weird. I'm sorry. I know it's not technically weird. And I know even though like he's part of the family, it's like different to the point. And actually neither one of them are like blood related to their family. So I'm not weirded out by that. I'm more weirded out by imagining the age gap in that kiss. I can't. I can't. Like in real life. I actually I genuinely need to know if it was her. I want to know if it's not her, but I don't want to know if it is her, Like, don't tell me. I can't. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, I feel like we should talk maybe a little bit about Spider to start off, maybe the kids.
Sure, I would love to. I was just about to switch us over to Avatar: Way of Water.
Yeah. So I feel like when I first watched Way of Water, I didn't dislike Spider, but then I saw in the years between then and this year, because they re-released Way of Water, so that's relevant to what I'm talking about. A lot of people hated him, thought he was so annoying, thought they like wanted Neytiri and them to kill him. And then even here I'm seeing a little bit of that discussion, since we're in spoiler territory, saying that Jake should have killed him. I don't know. I rewatched Way of Water, now having all those opinions like in my brain, not that I agreed, but just like knowing that. And I just can't imagine watching the second film and hating him. He, in a way, is kind of in Jake's position.
He's like in Jake's position in every way except he can't physically be in an avatar.
Yeah. He loves and appreciates this culture, this world. He's friends with the kids. I don't know. I just can't. I understand that people may dislike that he saved his father, but I just, that's his father. Like I get it, even if I don't want him to save him either. I get it. Like it is your dad, and you want him to have redemption, and then maybe for split seconds you see that maybe he could. I think that's the whole point of Quaritch's character, is like I do think he has the ability the entire time, especially now that he's in an avatar and is not quite a carbon copy of his old self, and Jake points that out. That's what's tragic. What's tragic is because he could become good and he just chooses not to. But I think it's the fact that he does ultimately sacrifice his mission for Spider. He does choose Spider time and time again over his revenge. And I think that's what Spider clings on to, in the second film at least. In the
And I
third
mean,
film,
frankly,
not so much.
how I don't like, even in like the second movie, like Neytiri does aggressively like threaten to kill him repeatedly, and still he's, that's the side that he's on, and he'll never switch to the other side. But his dad isn't ever threatening him, so there's layers to that.
There's something there. I agree. And I love Neytiri, but she hates that kid. And, like, she wants to kill that kid a lot. So, yeah, I think there's something there. And I think it's a shame if you come out of that movie hating him. I think you're missing out on some nuance there. So, anyway. And then in this film, it's interesting because obviously fairly early on, he gets the ability to breathe in Pandora, which has never happened to a human before. It's only ever happened to like 2 avatars. Kind of. Grace's situation is like her own thing. But then
I think Jake is the only one who's actually done that, because I was surprised. Because in this third one, we see like Grace's assistant not in his avatar for the first time, and I was like, oh, I assumed he had switched in the second one because we never see him as a human in that one.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. Feels like we maybe should have known that in the second one.
Yeah.
Because that case, Jake is the only one who's ever made that official switch to their avatar permanently.
Well, except for Quaritch. But his situation is
But
kind of...
he died first,
Yeah.
and like it was still science that put him into it. AWA
Yeah.
was the only let Jake do it.
Yeah. And that was completely Jake moving into the avatar versus they point out multiple times Quaritch is not completely himself. He is like his own, I can't even really say person, creature now. That's not the right word. But
It's his own identity.
yes, his own identity.
It reminds me of there's a game that I talked about in our Five Nights at Freddy's called Soma, where it's like you keep like uploading yourself into different like robotic bodies to like get uploaded into like digital human civilization. But like you keep leaving like the previous copies of yourself behind, and they're just like stuck there for the rest of their lives, and they can't die because they're a machine. And it gives me that vibe, where it's like you're a copy, but then you like are on a different path, so you change in ways that like your original might not have. And I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, and then in this movie, Spider is in a little bit of a different place. He's still likes his father, but I think he does finally make that decision. Like, I probably wouldn't save him again, or at least, I don't know. Maybe he would. I guess he's never really put in another one of those situations where he has to like save him. And when put in the situation, choose him over somebody else, it's always the other person. Like when him and Jake are fighting, he's always trying to save Jake that entire time. I really like when he's captured again, even if it's like you're captured again. The same people get captured again in this film, which I'm like, okay. But I like that this time around he escapes using his dad's affection for him. He's like, Dad, can I have your dog collars? And it's or dog tags.
Dog tags.
That's what it's called. Sorry. And then I knew he was gonna do something with that. I mean, in the back of my mind, I was like, I don't know, maybe he is like. I love that it was an act. I love it.
But keeping us, well, we'll get there. You're getting ahead of yourself.
I know, but we were talking about Spider.
But that was Spider.
Yes.
Other kids, oldest son. What was oldest son's
Natayam.
name? One more time.
Natayam. Mhm.
I think he's definitely his father's son.
Mhm.
I think
Where he's not really remembering.
where his connection to other people is way more memorable and interesting than his own character.
Yeah. Which I think is a shame because actually I think all the other Sully children are interesting in
Very
their own right.
interesting, and all
Very
have their
interesting.
own like arcs or things going on. Maybe without the kid, but at least the kid's like aggressively cute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even Took,
Took, yeah.
Maybe she doesn't have a lot of person, but she's really cute. So it's just I love seeing
She's
her.
like the Grogu-esque character of the group.
She is. That's why I really hope in the time jump maybe she'll have more to do now. I'm excited because I like the actress too. I don't know much about her, but she seems really nice. She's filmed a lot of TikToks, which has been fun. So, anyways,
cute.
yeah, it's fun. We have Loic.
Loic.
I think is I don't know how old Kiri is actually, where she falls in that, but we'll talk about Loic next.
I think he's I would say he's like the most interesting character in the second one. He's definitely given the most screen time of the children.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I will say, outside of Kiri, if Kiri wasn't also voiced by the Grace's actress, then I would say that she's the most original. But I think that because of that, he's like the most original character. I think the second one has. Although I feel like him specifically falls into essentially the same exact arc that his father had in the first one, where it's like new culture, you don't fit in, everyone acknowledges that, they make fun of you, you have to fight for your way to fit in. You befriend the creature that no one else wants to in that culture.
But I think Loic brings an interesting layer where he's
not a Marine, which I think is where he
very
really
immature.
differentiates.
Yes. Yeah. And he's a troublemaker, and he gets himself into trouble a lot. Makes some bad decisions, and that also gets other people into trouble because they are trying to help him. So, which it never, I don't think, passes the point where it ever gets into dislike of him because of his choices. I mean, he is.
It always comes off as a very human error. He
Yes.
forgets to wear the thing.
Yeah.
He anytime he needs to leave the post he's been put on, I think it always makes sense why he's doing it.
Yeah. It's not coming from pure defiance.
Yes.
So I think that helps.
And
I don't even think he ever really thinks about that. It's just he, in his mind, sees a situation and wants to help. And I think that's very similar to Jake.
Absolutely.
He's just not quite as, he's not a Marine, just what you said. So he's maybe not as, responsible.
I almost
guess.
wish the second movie, while we had both brothers, I almost wish there was maybe more of an explanation as to why one brother is able to kind of get with the program so much better than the other.
Yeah.
Especially because in like our like 5-minute flashback of like everything was perfect until bum bum bum. Like they both had that with their dad for a while. So I wish it maybe spent some time showing like why one was able to kind of adapt with the family shift to war than the other. Even though they came from similar upbringings, I think there's something very interesting they could have explored with like you can like be in the same family and have completely different childhoods.
Yeah.
I would have maybe loved to see that while we were able to have that with both
Yeah,
siblings.
because of course, like a ton of people know that that's the case in real life, and they've experienced it. But it would have been fun to have that conversation within the movie, I think, especially because so many people would have resonated with that. So, yeah.
But that's Loic. I like his
You
little
know,
whale friend.
And I think there's something to be said that maybe I didn't think about that because I'm an only child. I think there's something to be said there. So, yeah. Anyways, different experiences.
Sure. I like the whales. I forget what they're called. But they are very fun.
It's not
No, that's Jake.
Yeah. I don't remember.
No, but they're cool.
Something with a T, I think.
Randomly have the cure to like aging in them.
Well, it's weird because kind of so are avatars. Somebody pointed that out where they're like they had a way to like make humans stronger, better, like give them an upgrade. They already had that. But I guess maybe because I always got the impression that they were investigating Pandora so much because Earth was dying. So they needed to come over anyways. It wasn't just that they just wanted an upgrade as humans.
Oh,
it was like
well,
they
in the
needed
first
it.
one, they originally came over to like colonies, like to
Yeah.
like take their resources and bring them back to Earth.
Oh,
And
so
then
maybe they were hoping to heal Earth, maybe?
it's corporate. So the idea was they didn't care. It was just another place to rob and get money from.
Yeah.
With unobtainium, which became, after that movie, like it's the impossible to get thing, so we have to destroy this culture. What jumps to mind is like Andor season 2. With like we have to destroy this civilization.
Yeah.
They have whatever underneath them.
Yeah.
That makes it worth it. I think that's a very funny trope that came from Avatar.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I don't have much to add to that.
Sure.
No.
So we talked Loic. Kiri. I want to talk Kiri.
Kiri.
I think she's so fascinating. The idea that she's just like their Jesus.
She's like the physical embodiment of Awa.
Yeah. Literally, her mother gave birth after that body being a virgin.
Literally Mary. Mother Mary.
And then she's like the rebirth of her in an interesting way.
She's a clone.
Which makes sense with why they decided to make the voice the same. How does Sigourney Weaver's voice coming out of this like preteen work for you?
I seriously, unlike some other people, I don't really notice enough to care or be bothered by it until it's romantic with another child. And then I'm like, much older woman, sorry, you look great, but it's the truth. You wouldn't date him in real life. So now I'm thinking about it here. That is the only time in the movie where I was like bothered by it. I was like, oh, I wanna like enjoy this cute moment more than I do right now. Anyways, also interested to see if he ever does get an avatar body.
I mean, at this point, I don't think it matters. I would say with the third one, I think it officially sets up he's not going to, because also the corporate would need to make him one.
Yeah.
Because that's where they come from.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you know, like they've got some good scientists too. The ones that help save Natiri. Like maybe you don't know, because
it also takes a long time for them to get made. It takes like the entire space trip.
Yeah. So probably not gonna happen, but that's okay.
Who's to say? I'm trying to think of any. Oh, and then with her like embodying Awa, I think was so cool. Like whenever she like connects to the spirit tree and like has Awa like do stuff, I think that's cool every single time.
Yeah.
And I also like the more subtle ways that like she's clearly connected to Awa.
Yeah.
Like hearing the heartbeat and like the fish surrounding her in the water, I think is such a fun little touch.
Literally raising someone from the dead, another like very Jesus thing. And then also I like the fact that when she's really trying to push, especially on her own, facing Awa, that's when there's a bunch of pushback and she gets her seizures. Although I do think it's funny how many times they say between these two films, if you do it one more time, one more time, one more time. I'm like, well, she's clearly fine. But anyways. And then, but I like that she's able to do a lot on her own, too. She's almost, like, more powerful, and she's not trying to get Awa to do something. It's like, girl, you can do stuff. You don't need to talk to Awa to, like, channel her in a way. Because also when their whole family's captured and she uses those plants, the little spikes or whatever,
I think that's so
to
cool.
escape. Yeah.
And
And then she connects to the braids or what, they have a better name than that, but I just know them as braids. And controls Varang or Wrong, however you say her name. That was awesome. And she was like it was pretty easily too controlling her. So, and then she like held it almost like a snake,
like a scorpion tail.
Yes. Oh, I loved that. Ate that up. So
Back to Water.
yes.
Any new additions outside the family that you enjoyed? I think the swim, like the design of the ocean people are very fun. Like
Yeah.
the idea that they're more swimmy and they almost have like a salamander-esque quality to their tail.
Yeah, I mean they literally have like different shaped hands. I really like the daughter. Bailey Bass is awesome. I loved her in the first season of Interview with a Vampire. Was sad to see her go, even though I like the actress that took over, but totally understand that she would leave for Avatar. I mean, duh. So she does great work here as well. One of my complaints of the new movie is that they didn't kiss. I'm like, come on. Anyways, I kind of actually liked that at first her brothers were like bullies to Loic. I thought that was an interesting setup, and then they became friends later when he earned their respect, and I appreciated that. I was like, they weren't bullies for long enough for me to actually like hate. I can't say
You're
that
right.
in 2 in a row. But just long enough to make a little interesting arc there. I love that Kate Winslet gets to be here. Very fun. It's almost, I can kind of see it in the mouth, which of course is the more humanly shaped part. The eyes obviously are much bigger than human eyes. I almost like can't even recognize some I can, like Sam Worthington looks exactly like Jake. I can see Zoe Saldana as Neytiri, Bailey Bass as Tessira. I don't remember how to say her name. And then obviously Spider.
What?
What?
you didn't even say his name.
What?
You didn't even say the actor's name, and I'm like, Spider is Spider?
Oh, what is his name? Jack
Champion.
Yeah. But like Kate Winslet and some of the others, I'm like, I can't tell. So, kind of cool. Anyways.
Oh, and then I also like the machines in the second one. Like the little crab submarines.
Yeah.
And then like even the boat itself, I'm like, I feel like if they made that as a toy, some kid is gonna love that thing.
Yeah. Should make like a Lego set. I liked the water Ekrons. They probably have their own name, but it's like the underwater creatures that they hook up to.
The designs were very fun. I would
Yeah.
say as fun as the first one.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I don't know much more to say than that, I guess.
Okay. Going
Pretty solid.
into the movie we're talking about. So Fire and
Officially.
Ash.
Yes.
So As we usually do, what were you expecting going into this one?
You know, I was expecting it obviously to be visually stunning. Of course, it's always going to be. I was very, very excited for the Ash people because I loved that main girl. I loved that she was Rob Stark's. I don't know if they ever actually got married,
her.
right?
Because they got married at
Yeah.
the Red Wedding.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Anyways, so happy that she's getting good work here. I think she killed it. She's another one where I almost recognize her as in the Navi form, and I'm not quite there. I'm like, I'm picturing, because I picture when she gets stabbed in the Red Wedding, because she has a very like her face there. No, I can't see it, but she kills it. And I don't know. I was excited to see more of the kids, see more of what they were gonna do with Kiri. Natiri had a lot of really fun looks. I loved when she had Jake's handprint on her chest. I love when she had like the red makeup. I was interested about that. Jake getting captured. Everybody circulating it. Does that mean Jake's gonna die? Is Natiri gonna die? Is another kid gonna die? You know, like what's gonna happen here? I don't know. I was very interested and excited. And I was more, I think, interested to see what the reaction would be, since this is the first time we're getting a sequel Avatar, not 15-20 years after another one, so getting them closer together. Yeah, I think I was always on board with the movie, but I was more interested and unsure how everyone else would react and what would happen there. So yeah.
Interesting.
And there's also not a lot of people, but some people are like, I wonder if it's gonna hit 1 billion, and I'm like, are you stupid? They are. It's gonna hit 1 billion. So like, that's crazy. Yeah. What
I
about
agree with a
you?
lot of that. I was very excited for Fire Lady.
Yes.
In this last week leading up to it, some people from my job were talking about it, and they were like, Fire Lady? And I'm like, Fire Lady.
Fire Lady.
Fire Lady.
It's like, I almost don't even care that it's like Avatar: The Last Airbender, because the designs are so cool, and James Cameron does a great job at building these different people. Even if, the abilities they have are kind of like, I will say, they didn't have a natural ability to bend fire like I thought they would, which is interesting. They just utilize it really well. So I don't mind. I mean, I still like it. It was just a little shocking to me. I thought they were gonna have natural firepower, but never mind.
Firepower.
So I was like, then who started your fire when your village burned down? That's what I thought we were gonna do. So, anyways, yeah.
So I was very excited for that. I was interested to see the Wind Tribe, because I'm like, do we have nomads? I was like, I guess I don't know. Their hairstyles are giving nomads, but it's like, we're traders, and it's like, okay, I'll let you pass, but I'm gonna make eye on you, James.
Yeah.
I was excited to. With the second one, I think I'm of the mind that there's a bit of repetition in the second one. It's just basically everything that the kids are experiencing with the Water Tribe is what Jake experienced with the Forest Tribe. And it's all still really good, and there's enough interesting stuff to still like make it very exciting and stuff. I would say with this one, I was excited to kind of maybe expand off of a lot of the stuff that was introduced in the second one.
I was very happy to realize they weren't moving it again. I mean, not really. I was like,
at least
please
like
don't move
not
again.
being introduced to a new culture and trying to fit in.
Yeah.
I like that was not happening here.
Yeah.
It was more just kind of introducing other cultures into the story instead of kind of replacing them.
Yeah.
And then even kind of bringing back the forest a little bit.
Yeah, they moved around a lot, but not in the same way as
But not trying to fit
at
in,
all.
which I think is what makes, for me, I think makes the first and the second one, I think, very similar.
Okay.
I would say a little bit to the detriment of the second one. but I loved them building off of everything. I liked them kind of bringing everything from the first two together here, and adding like a lot of new stuff as well with the new tribes, the different creatures, and like the changes even on the human stuff felt very refreshing here. Yeah, I liked this one. On my ratings, like I had Way of Water, then Fire and Ash, then the original. I would say there's still a decent beat between the original and this one for me, but like this one and the second one are very close for me.
Okay.
But I think the way this one expands off of the second one is the way I feel like I wish Way of Water expanded off of the first one a little more.
Okay.
Instead of just being like whole new stuff. Forest, who needs her? I don't know. I feel like this one uses all of the different cultures and it explores them differently than we've seen.
Yeah.
Which I thought was very fun.
Yeah.
Um,
I just love the kids so much from the second one. Like, that was such a great, interesting element that they added that, I don't know, maybe it makes me excuse some arguably valid criticisms.
I don't know. I
don't know.
I
guess I just don't mind.
If it focused maybe a little more on the family dynamic, I feel like I could give it that, but Jake is like such a meh father in the second one at best.
I mean, he's, yeah.
But
yeah.
in the third one, I love how it like starts out and it has, I think, a banger line right off the bat, which is like Ash is like the fire is to ash is what like loss is to grief. And like I think that really sets that, and then the line of like you can't, Jake's line from the trailer, like you can't live in hate. I think that really sets the themes really well here. But then I think it's all very subtext going forward. Like I think those themes are like the foundation of this movie, even if it doesn't really stop to like talk about it again. Which I actually love a lot. Like I appreciate kind of like throwing it out there and then letting it like it be something that like you it's not spelled out for you going forward. It's something you have to kind of look for and sit with in the rest of it, which I really appreciate. And then I think it comes up in like the more powerful scenes of the movie, and I think those themes from the original, like the thing when they bring it up, I think they like glow up here. Great. I feel like I'm not saying this well, so
It's okay. We've moved into best parts.
yes, we have.
So I'll go ahead and say some of mine too. I would say they took a lot of bold swings in this movie that I really appreciate. And they all worked for me. So it paid off really well. That would include the fact that they actually went there with Loic almost killing himself. I was shocked. I was actually shocked that they were going there. I was shocked that in the conversation Jake and Tahiri have, where he basically accuses her and says, you know, you hate the humans so much. Does that mean you hate and resent me and our children? And she says yes. I loved that bold swing. I loved that they actually went there with almost killing Spider. Even if I maybe have some problems believability with how Jake got there, I still love how that scene was done, and I love that they went there. Even if maybe the build up with him, I'm like, anyways, I love that, you know, people were circulating that Korich and Varang were going to be like a couple in this film,
the
but I
trailer's
love that
definitely giving that.
Yeah.
It's so, I remember seeing like in this last week people comparing those two to Lockjaw and Perfida Jones Beverly Hills from One Battle After Another, and it like
Interesting.
is very that actually.
Ooh, I'd have to look into that. That's an interesting little tidbit.
Yeah, because he's giving a lot of Lockjaw here. The idea of like someone sexualizing and like empowering the person that he's working to like destroy their like culture and existence. It's very similar actually.
Yeah.
But it's almost similar to like the Pocahontas, where it's taken so far out of like, you know, day-to-day context that it can be viewed a little like more abstractly.
I loved their dynamic. Although I do think it's kind of funny where he's like, "You need me." I don't know. I don't have much more to expand on that.
He said,
but
"You need me because I'm the only one who's gonna match your freak," and I'm like, and you know what? You convinced me.
yeah. And I love when she drugs him. That entire
that
sequence.
drug trip
I'm
scene
like,
is so cool.
you've got sauce, James Cameron. I love this. It's my favorite scene in the whole movie.
And it was so funny seeing him trip out.
It was the way he was smiling, and she was smiling too because she was finding him so funny. God, I loved that. I loved that. I will say though, it was so jarring. She lost some aura points for me when she didn't have her headpiece on. I didn't realize she was bald in the middle here, and that was shocking to me. I was like, "Where's her hair?"
Bald! She's bald and she's torturing people who have hair!
No, actually, I was like, I adjusted to it, but I was like, "Oh, Batty, where's your headpiece?"
Queen, you dropped this. You dropped your crown.
Because literally her headpiece is so cool that without it, I'm like, who are you?
Wait a minute.
It's like the
gosh.
Clark Kent, like without the glasses. I'm Superman and then I'm just Clark Kent.
Another part of her design that I really liked that I didn't see in the trailer was her like her braid having the spikes in it. Loved that.
Because I feel like so much of her tent or whatever, her room, had a lot of bones, and I'm sure it's got to be like the Na'vi people or creatures or
I'm sure.
somebody. I maybe wish they like mentioned that more, but I guess like where else would she have gotten it from? So I like that little detail. It's like she has a lot of bones, and you're like, she had to get that here with her own creatures, like her own. I don't know the word. I lost it. I had it. Species?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. She was so cool. And then when she controlled people with her braid, I'm like,
and then I think that adds to like the design even better with the idea that like it's literally a weapon to her.
yeah.
I think that's so cool.
Yeah. It adds to that cult element where it's like she has power through that now.
She's so it's such a great exploration of like heretical beliefs. And especially I think in the way, because I think with religion the term heretical can be used to like take away valid criticism, like the idea of, oh, we're doing this bad thing and anyone who calls us out on that, heretics. But I enjoy the idea here in like the themes here specifically of the idea of, you know, you should be fighting to defend what you love, not fighting to kill what you hate. And I think the way that's explored here is so well done. And I think that that's like the core issue that like Neytiri is struggling with, you know, trying to focus on the things that she loves and letting that lead her instead of, you know, the hatred of the humans and all of the horrible things that they've wrought to her.
Yeah.
And then eventually Jake falls into that as well after, and maybe jumping to this point again, with that scene of him almost killing Spider. I think it works because he's been captured for the first time. And I think that really shows that, like, he's, you know, for lack of a better term, human. Like, he's not this, you know, big, like, untouchable thing, which he's been for the entire franchise thus far.
Yeah.
And I can see, for me, it works that after, like, it's one thing if his mess up kid keeps being in the way of things, and as we've said, he's the one who blames him for his older son dying. So there's things to hide behind for, like, I can do this. This is my job. Anything that's gone so far has been other people's fault. But then for him to truly just fail and get captured and almost die as a result of that, and especially with how visually jarring, like, the grays of the civilization and, like, the dust in the air.
Yeah.
Just adding on top of that, I think it really works for me. To believe that he'd get at a low where he just thinks he's incapable of, fighting the good way. It reminds me a lot of from Tick Tick Boom, the Netflix movie. The like, are you acting out of love or out of fear? And it's in that same vein of, why are you fighting? And I love that ultimately they land in the same place, even at the same time. The beautiful scene of, like, Neytiri, like, cleaning the red off of her and it looking like blood.
That's my second favorite scene. I knew it was going to happen, but it, just because a scene is maybe predictable doesn't always mean it's bad. This is a great example of it being perfect. You know it's coming, and it has to do it that way, and it does, and it's perfect. Like, I know she's going to take the red off, and she's going to see the blood on her hands, and it's going to be perfect. Ugh.
Absolutely.
And I love that she not only doesn't make it in time, so Jake has to make
had
the
to
decision.
do that himself.
Yes. But also, I kept expecting her to start, like, calling out to him, and she doesn't. So I love that it kind of forces Jake to make that decision on his own. It's very separate decisions, but then they realize they came to the same conclusion. So I do love that. I also love how much she hesitated when it became real, because it's one thing to threaten when you're not actually going to do anything, and when nobody's agreeing with you and telling you to do it. It's another when it's real, when he's like, I'll do it. And she's like, oh my God, he's actually going to die. I love that hesitation. Also, with the fighting conversation, I do appreciate that these movies almost, like, never really entertain the idea of not fighting violence with violence. It's like some...
The whale people do. And I think
yes,
that the idea that it's not the
I love that with the whale people, the movie's very clearly taking a stance that they're wrong about that,
Yes.
though. So even when someone is entertaining the idea, the movie is not.
Yes.
The movie's like, that's not the right way. Because that's always just been so stupid and such a frustration of mine. I
remember feeling concerned about that messaging whenever the long walk was like watching the long walk for the first time, and being like, I see you entertaining this idea, and it's okay to entertain it, but we better have a clear stance by the end of this, and then it aggressively takes that stance.
I love that, and I love how it very clearly shows that just because you're fighting violence with violence doesn't make you as bad as them. Because you don't want it to be happening, you're just doing what needs to be done to save your people.
To defend what you love, not fighting because it's something you don't like or you hate.
Yep.
And then I also love how that reflects with our antagonists. With Quaritch literally constantly giving it up. I think it ends on a really interesting note, like the peak of that, with him like, so I just stopped trying to kill you to save, so that we both can work together to save Spider.
He's always more important.
What are we gonna do about this now?
Yeah. No, I'm so glad they didn't really entertain that idea further, though, because I was like, ooh, let's not forget he killed your son. Let's not forget that. Jake, I know you of all people are not going to forget that, so I'm glad they didn't even really go down that road of, are we gonna be friends? No. Nope. We've crossed that line of absolutely not. But I do love that in their own way they were still having to work together for that. So anyways,
Other good parts. I liked seeing Awa for the first time that side eye was kind of really
Awesome.
funny. It's just like,
She said, huh?
not your god side eyeing you.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the ending. I loved Spider meeting all of the ancestors for the first time and like
That was cool. And a
meeting
very clear
Kiri's
reflection
mom.
of Jake again, because he does the same thing in the first movie. So, oh, and
Yeah.
then the mom of the Water Tribe. I don't remember her name.
Yeah.
Sorry. Being
Oh.
the one to accept him. I love that.
Also, oh my gosh. Also, her death and like giving birth to her. I love that scene as well.
Yeah.
Gosh,
Mm-hmm.
girl, I'm all for you having fought in the second one. Like you literally feel yourself about to give birth, and you're like, whatever. Let me go fight this war. I'm like, homegirl,
Baddie.
at least let him out first, and then get in there. Like,
Ah, no, I love the way that was done though. I love it because I don't
no,
know,
that scene is
kinda
beautiful.
Mm-hmm. It again, it makes me think of one battle after another again when the main lady is like shooting a gun with like a full belly.
Yes, no, it is.
Like
There's a lot of
baddie.
one battle after another vibes.
I don't
here.
know why, but it's giving baddie. Like I don't know. Oh my god! Before we watched this movie, I said at some point in time, I am gonna love the Varang, the leader of the Ash people. But at some point, I know she's gonna go after my girl Natiri, and I'm gonna have to say this bitch needs to go. And then like maybe 15 minutes within the film, I don't even know, 15, 30 minutes, not that long for an Avatar movie into the film. She shoots Natiri, and I turn to Cole and I say, this bitch has gotta go. No, I'm glad she didn't die though. I'm glad that that very clearly leaves it open to maybe see her again. But that was really funny that it happened really quickly. I was like, damn, okay, I thought we were gonna say this maybe in the third act. Yeah. I love that entire sequence of them all getting separated, coming back together.
That it's a really fun action scene, and I love the setting, like them being in the air.
Mm-hmm.
I think the air creatures I think are all really cool. I was
Yeah.
really hoping whenever like Loek is like climbing like the last one, like the creature that's like leading the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was really hoping he was gonna let him go so he didn't have to go down with the rest of the ship. But then he was just like, okay, I'm gonna leave now, and I'm like, and you like see him like trying to like fly away, and he keeps going down. I'm like, no. I hate this.
It's giving the dinosaur in what is it? The second Jurassic movie?
Fallen Kingdom.
World? Oh.
Oh my god.
Oh, I could cry. Anyways.
No.
Sorry,
speaking
I'm
of,
like moving on before I cry.
I had a similar moment whenever, Loek's brother whale comes back with like the only living member of his tribe, and it like comes up and like I remember like not being recognizing what I was looking at and then realizing that I'm looking at like where his eyes should be. Oh my gosh, that bummed me out so much.
When Loix, the main whale that he's friends with, said you'll never hear my song again, I'm like, I'll just die right here in
No,
the
give me your
movie.
Spotify.
No, this will be the last movie I ever see in life. I can't. I'm like, stop. You can't say that. Also, I loved how small he was. He's a tiny little whale.
He's a little guy.
When he's like big too, but well, compared to Loic, but then he's a tiny little guy. I liked that the whales got over themselves and fought. They were
I liked seeing all the tattoos and
baddies.
piercings on them.
Yeah.
That was no, because that's what I was thinking. In the second one, they talk about how like they're so intelligent and they like have their own like cultures and like they're this like big deal. And then I like it's like okay, whales have songs and like they have a way to communicate, which is cool.
Yeah.
But
They
are
don't
they
really
giving
show much
are they giving
outside
that
of
much
that.
more like compared to humans?
Yeah.
Here with like the way they look is like now I believe that they're this big thing with like a rich culture.
Yeah.
And I
well,
really like
and that
them.
was the whole thing is they were coming together for the eclipse, which is why the humans were attacking at the time because all of them would be there. Yeah. So I liked that we actually got to see more of that, not just talk but we got to see that in this
Yeah.
one because it was very interesting. So, yeah.
I think that's a lot of good stuff. I'm gonna start out worst parts
Okay.
with talking about our screening experience in the visuals.
Yeah.
I-
I don't. Go ahead. It's
Yes.
Okay. It's okay.
This to be said, I blame our theater, and I have to believe that the settings just were not done correctly.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as like we see the first visual shot of the movie, I'm like, whoa, I can't wait to press X to start this video game.
No, it's so heavily giving like a really, really well done video game.
Yes, it's like giving like the PlayStation like story missions.
Yeah.
It was very bizarre, and I remember as soon as the movie was over, like leaning over, and I was like, "Hey, so guys,
anyone
if
else
I
notice that?
say video game, does that resonate?"
No, and all of us were like, yes.
I remember being like, "Thank God."
Yeah, I agree with that. I also would like to blame it on the settings.
I feel like it has to, because in that same theater a couple weeks ago, we saw Way of Water in 3D.
Yeah.
And that, like, the big problem, I think, with it looking like the video game was just it was so smooth. Like, whereas the 3D texture in the second one feels not smooth. Like, you can see, like, the details and the bumps and everything. Like, even with all the movement, I feel like that was missing. And it's one thing, like, if it's under the water, and I think there's a smooth element to be had there.
Yeah.
But, like, the first thing is them, like,
just
flying through the air, and
everywhere,
it's like,
yeah.
everything just feels so smooth. And, like,
It almost like it looks great, but it looks like
the
it's
smoothness
fake
just
and
makes it
something
feel
was
very
over
fake.
it. Yeah.
Which I think is unfortunate, and I don't hold against the movie because I can only imagine
I'm choosing
seeing
not
this
to either.
in like a properly set 3D experience. Must
Yeah,
look
I'm sure.
beautiful.
Plus, I know James Cameron talked about tweaking the way he did the 3D experience so it wouldn't give people headaches. And I will say, you know, I actually wasn't thinking about that until I saw him talk about it. I'd seen him talk about that after I saw the movie. But I don't go to 3D movies if I can avoid it because I've gotten headaches from them. My dad, same thing has happened. He probably still won't see this movie in 3D because like he gets it way worse than me. But then Avatar: Way of Water, we even like sat back because I was worried about that. But this one, we were like pretty close to it. So I was a little nervous going into it, but then I just didn't think about it the whole movie because I never got even a slight headache. And then I saw that afterwards, and I was like, "Thanks, James Cameron." Thanks.
With the 3D, I remember so vividly in the second one, like every time I watched it in 3D, there's like a spear that gets thrown into the water that makes me like, oh. In this one, there's a moment that gave me a very similar effect. Was there anything like that for you? I want to see.
I feel like I don't really notice 3D. It's like I get used to it. It's like it just feels 2D again to me.
For me, it was whenever the squids were coming after Loek, and there was the one where it's like the claws are coming like right at the screen. That one had me like,
okay.
oh, don't want to get bit. And I was like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Like, I love the 3D effect on these movies.
Yeah. I'm just, yeah. No, I feel like, and this isn't like a pro or con, it's just solid.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So worst parts.
I would say I'm getting a little tired of the humans. Getting a little over it. Because I think, unfortunately for them, they introduced a much more interesting villain to me, which is the Ash people. And I wanted to know more about them. And they focused on them a good amount for most of the movie. But then the entire third act, it's very much led by the humans. I mean, the Ash people almost have nothing to do here. But their original attack was great. Then you have Courage going to their camp, and that entire sequence, great. Then you have them capturing the people, and you have more of, you see their I don't know, cult, like whatever they do, and that's all great. And then even when she is with the humans and encouraging her people, don't be scared, don't show fear. She's a little bit of a fish out of water when they don't want her there. That's all interesting. Everything after that, it's like they forget they exist for the most part. She has her specifically has obviously her little moment with Kiri coming after her, which she goes after Natiri. Kiri goes after her. But I don't know. I was disappointed that they had next to nothing to do in the third act. And it was pretty much all the humans. I'm like, I'm tired of you people. You're not interesting. Everything interesting in that third act had really nothing to do with them. It was like the whales attacking them. That was awesome. It had everything to do with the whales. Courage fighting Jake. I'm a little over. I'm like, this is 3 movies of y'all fighting. One of y'all's gotta go. I'm tired of this. This is repetitive. I'm like, I need one of y'all to win or lose, and then be done with it. And I guess they are. I mean, I don't know. They didn't totally. We don't know.
It feels aggressively open-ended.
Yeah, not as open-ended as Varang for sure, because we know
Varang's
she
definitely
survived.
out there.
Yes,
And I think she's slated. Like, it shows up on her thing that she's supposed to come back for 4 and 5.
yeah. I would prefer if they would shift the focus. Not that the humans can't be in the next 2 movies. I'm sure they will be. But I would love if they were not the focus villains for like a whole movie. They can be there but I want them to be the supporting villains to the main villain.
I feel like the problem is outside of Quaritch, who's now an avatar, and I think very explicitly different from the humans now.
Yeah.
I don't think the humans have any compelling characters.
I
I don't think the actors are helping that either. There's one thing to, like, come off as military, but, like, here Quaritch is coming off as military and a super interesting character.
Yeah. I agree.
So
the humans are, like, nothing. Anybody could play them, and it wouldn't matter.
I feel like they need to change who's in charge over there. Because the person who's financing everything and the, like, general over there now, I think they are so boring. I think you got to get someone more interesting to watch while we're there.
I wonder if you could get like, maybe like a politician or somebody who's very smart in strategizing and what to do, but they're not so like, we're a military. I want them to have a personality, even if I don't like them because they're a villain.
Like, specifically with the guy, like the rich guy who's paying for everything, the chairman, I think is what he is. I think that is such a missed opportunity for a character that just does not pop at all. And you can still pop and be a really bad guy, an antagonist.
Yes, yeah.
It just feels like such a missed opportunity compared to the antagonists that are blue here, and just pop so much. I struggle to think, because if without the humans here, it is a very different story, because the whole
I think they have
heart
to be
of the
here
story
somewhere.
is about like caring for your planet and fighting against what humans are doing in real life.
I'm not saying like you have to bring the humans back, but you'd have to have a really good pitch as to why they're no longer in the story. I think they have to have some role here, even if it's small. You know.
I hope the next time we see them, they find a character that is still human that can make us bear being with them a little better.
Yeah. I also wish maybe they acknowledged whatsoever that they did eventually in the film completely oust Quaritch. They said, you have nothing to do with this anymore. Like, you have said you're going to do something multiple times and you haven't, so we no longer trust you or want to work with you. Goodbye. And we just see, like, no fallout from that. You know, I'm not saying, like, I get why he was still fighting them. Obviously, he still, with or without their help, wanted to kill Jake. That wasn't going to change.
'Cause hate.
Yeah. But, I don't know, I wish, maybe at some point in time we could also see that he's very much not on the human side anymore, not caring. Like, maybe if he was in a situation where he could have helped them, but because they ousted him, he chose not to. Just something as simple and quick as that, I think would have satisfied.
Something
That
I
need.
was kind of hoping was going to happen was especially whenever Neytiri was in there and she like had the past to like be believable as in there as the Fire Tribe. I was kind of really hoping
That he
for
would let her go.
no.
No?
I was hoping that someone would give the order to just kill all of the blue people. Why can't I remember what their race is called? I keep
Na'vi.
Na'vi. I keep wanting Na'vi and Neytiri keep getting mixed in my head. But killing like all of the Na'vi there, with the idea of like, hey, you can warm up to this idea and this like corporate political structure as much as you want. They're never going to find value in you, no matter how useful you are to them.
Yeah.
I was really expecting something like that to happen, especially like when they were looking for Neytiri. I was like, I think there's a bit of a missed opportunity that they didn't do that here. I think if for whatever reason, Fire Baddie decided to go back there and was like, because rightfully she can. The humans weren't winning that battle until their tribe came in.
Well, and she wasn't either. It was like they very much needed each other, for sure.
Oh, I mean,
Well, I mean, they were messing things up for sure, but I think maybe if they rallied against everybody, I would have been interested to see that battle. But then, you know, they had weapons too, although we didn't really get to see that in the third act. That's one of my problems.
But with the idea that like, but then Anne General actually might be dead, which could be a great excuse to change her out for someone interesting to watch. I don't know. There's some opportunities. I can very clearly see her going back to the humans and continuing that and leading to something like that.
Sure.
I think especially with Quaritch out of the way and her just being someone from Pandora, I think that opens up that plot line a lot cleaner than if Quaritch was still there, because it's like he didn't ask to be put into this body. You guys put him into this body. So there's something you could owe him for being somewhat human, but now that barrier's not there at all.
Yeah.
And I think there's something interesting to be said about the way that you're using this people's planet against each other and not benefiting either.
You know, one thing that I thought about when we're talking about this is the fact that the general lady, when it came down to choosing between killing Jake or saving Spider, she wanted to kill Jake, even if it meant Spider also got killed. And I feel like I have a problem with that, actually, now that I think about that's the decision she made. Because it's like, I get if it's Quaritch. That's his goal, is to kill Jake. Although he would never sacrifice his son in the way. But anybody else he would have, despite how valuable they were. But, like, just from their perspective, like, they don't really care as much about, or at least in my mind, I thought they cared more about money and value and corporation.
The general is very different from the guy who's paying for everything to be here. So she's just looking for, like, she's fighting a war and he's the general. They're like opposing leaders. So that makes sense. She doesn't care about the kid. Money guy cares about the kid. And she has to literally be like, I can arrest you right now. For me, that works.
But he's the one paying for everything.
She's the one with the guns.
I guess. For now, until nobody pays for you to get a new gun. I don't know. I feel like it's a little messy. But whatever. Let's see. I already talked about Jake not teaching his girls to fight. At what point is that misogynistic? Anyways.
Especially whenever they specifically make the point of him, like, being like, no, don't just follow me because I'm your husband. Like, I think that those are very contradicting points.
I think so too. And I think at what point is it unbelievable that Neytiri wouldn't take over and teach them to fight or something? Why are we not having that conversation? Why are we not having the conversation of how hard and disgustingly how disgusting he treats Loic. Why are we not talking about this? I want him. I need him, and I need in my bones for him to find out that Loic was about to kill himself because of Jake. I want him to feel bad. He should feel bad. That was his fault. So, and for you to call yourself the protector of this family, that means if it's anybody's fault, it's your fault. And maybe he was projecting and not wanting to take the blame, but then let's talk about that. I think there's too much going on here to not talk about it. Like, somebody needs to call him out. Anyways, I also found it interesting. I feel like, you know, Loic was clearly affected by his brother's death, obviously. But then he almost like immediately continues to make rash decisions in this film. I'm not saying that's a problem. It's just something to point out. You know, I guess I was a little thrown off by it. I thought maybe, you know, if anything was going to make you grow up a little bit, it would be your brother's death. Like, I'm interested to see you in the time jump. And
Furthermore, here, I think that ties into my wish of, like, wishing we understood these two characters on, like, a very base level.
Yeah. Well, and, you know, I also thought about, if anything, like, what does the film think about his actions? Because do they view it as a problem? Or, if anything, I feel like the film validates his choices and personality because they have him proven very clearly right to go after the whales, and it helps their situation. So it's like, I don't know. There's some conflict there that I would like to be discussed more.
I would say the film is definitely trying to show that there's just a very big divide between Loic and Jake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
it's like, at what point do we acknowledge that Jake's like wrong about a lot of things?
He is very wrong.
When does somebody call him out for that? Because you will be the love of my life.
I will say, I'm trying to remember when in the movie he's like, you don't have to prove yourself anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like in the third act, no?
Is that when he asks Loic to fly with him? Is that the same scene?
I feel like that was early on in the movie, no?
I don't remember. No, I thought he asked him to fly with him in the final battle. I don't remember.
But then he's protecting. In the final battle, he starts out protecting the family, and then he leaves to go with whales.
Yes, but then when they come back together, that's when he says it. When he gets the whales on their side, maybe that's when he says it. I don't remember. I don't know, man.
I do agree. I wish it was a little more spelled out, and I wish that someone else. Because I feel like they try and address it, but very internally, and I wish someone had called him out on it so that we could hear some of that thought out loud.
I need an apology. I need an apology for him. I really do. I also, random thing, I love the little detail that he's sunburned from waiting for the whale so long. Oh, such a simple thing. I also love, but I'm also creeped out by the fact that Spider's now growing a braid when it's like not a braid yet and it's just like the tentacles. I'm like, I wanted to gag in the theater a little bit. I was like, oh, that looks creepy. And then it's a braid and it's okay. But I'm like, Ooh.
Clock it.
Anyways, crazy. Let's see. Anything else? I forgot to point this out in the best parts.
Oh
it's
my
when
gosh.
Neytiri comes to the rescue. When she saves Jake from the human camp.
Right. That is a great scene.
Oh my god, when she like bends backwards on the Ikron or whatever to get through the little tunnel thing. I'm like, you have never been hotter, Neytiri. I love you so much. Such a baddie. Oh, one of the worst parts for me, I don't know why this bugged me so much. This stupid biologist that was like, what you people I've been working with for how long are evil? I'm like, come on, dude. It worked in the first movie with Jake because not only was he the main character, so he spent a lot of time with that arc. I think it's more so like, I don't believe you're shocked. I just can't. You had to have known that. Why are you shocked right now? I just don't. I mean, I'm happy that you helped save Jake. Thanks. I don't care about you. And you're dumb. You have a PhD.
A PhD.
You have a PhD. I don't.
You
have
an
one, clearly.
ADHD and you're doing this.
No, and I'm like, why are you dumb? I can't. Plus, I feel like in the first film they didn't quite know the links that they were gonna go to. So, I'm like, seriously? You didn't know they were evil? What did you think they had been doing? Like, I can't believe you would go that far. I'm like, I'm sorry. What? They've already burned down whole forests and... What do you mean they wouldn't go that far? So, I don't know. That bugged me. I'm like, I don't believe you. Anyways. I pretty much already addressed everything.
One thing I hate is Boat Guy came back. Hated him in the
he's
last
so
movie.
annoying.
He did not need to return at all after he
my
could have
God.
easily been presumed dead in the last one.
Yes, I so agree with that. I was dreading when I saw his face. That is so valid. The only other thing I had on my list was Ronal. That's the wife's name of the water people.
Yes.
Nobody addresses her death later, and her son died. Like it was like it gave me like Hedwig flashbacks, except like Hedwig had a little more of like, no, this guy had nothing. He got killed, and then we saw them later, but it's like, are we not gonna address? Because if there is a time skip, then why would we address it 10 years from now? So we kind of need to address it now. That, Tesseria, I probably said her name wrong. That's the daughter that her and Loic are like a thing, but then not a thing because they think it's so stupid. Anyways, the last conversation she had with her mother was that you will never see me again. Like with the whales, when all the kids unite in their thing. And then we're not going to address that was the last conversation you had with her mother before she died. We're not going to see any reaction from her children, from her husband. We're not going to see any reaction from
That baby?
the siblings dying, the baby. I'm like, why is there like 2 minutes left in the movie once we're done with the battle? It's giving Dancing with the Stars finale when they have 30 seconds to talk after they won. Like, why are we leaving the 30 seconds for what arguably needs much, much more than that? So that is like, I honestly can't believe that nobody addressed that. They're not the main characters, so I'm not saying you needed to spend a lot of time with it, but like, come on. Not even a reaction. Not even a quick scene of Neytiri giving the baby to them and then realizing that the mother's not there and what that means? No? I can't. I loved the ending scene, but it needed another scene. I'm like, it's already 3 hours and 15 minutes. You can't do 5 more minutes. You probably don't even need that much time. Anyways, that is all.
Alrighty. So, anything specifically you'd be looking for in an Avatar 4 or 5?
I want maybe a level up with Kiri. Now that she knows what she's capable of, I want her with the time jump to have practiced that a lot. I need in my bones for her to know how to fight. At least 2. Kiri has now like powers that she can use. I need Took to like have something to do. So, I'm interested to see what Loic is like with a time jump. Interested. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not super specific. I kind of already talked about I want more of the Ash people.
Yes. But I think that's practically a given.
Yeah.
Um,
I sure hope so.
I would say I want more creatures in the next one.
Me
Like
too.
there were the first one and the second one gave us a lot of really cool creatures.
Mm-hmm.
There were a couple here, like the air floating creatures, and then like the squids. I think are like the biggest addition here.
Yeah.
But I want more.
Would it be where the creatures are? Anyways.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like
I agree with that.
their loss wasn't too bad here because I liked a lot of everything else that was happening. But I want more creatures. I'm a creature guy.
Valid.
I think eventually we gotta round out the elements and we gotta find the burrower tribe, the ones who are doing stuff underground.
Mm-hmm.
We're probably gonna see a worm monster if I had to guess.
But I feel like that's the forest people. You have the forest people which are earthy, then you have the air people, then you have the water and the ash people.
I think we're gonna go burrowing with it, and they're gonna be jacked.
Right.
Boulder. I'm gonna make a guess that
Boulder.
in either Avatar 4 or 5, Kaitiri is gonna be really powerful at the front, and then something's going to happen so that she's gonna like be out of play for a lot of it.
Don't manifest.
I feel like
that.
she's unfortunately reached. It's like almost like Scarlet Witch levels, where it's like you're really powerful and it's really cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
But now, narratively, how do you have her be a part of
Neytiri?
a story? Yes. Or at least I think she's very borderline close to that level.
I don't know. I feel like Kiri could take that role maybe without Neytiri needing to get hurt. I feel like maybe they like go the direction where now they're starting to use Kiri a lot and rely on her. And what does that mean for them? And if Kiri's taken out of play, then what does that mean for them if they've relied on her? So we could do some stuff. I don't know.
Very curious.
I trust in James Cameron.
For sure.
So
I don't think there's anything else I would predict or want.
we already talked about more interesting humans.
Yes.
Maybe
I feel
more
like that's
of
like
a supporting
my biggest
role,
note.
at least for the fourth movie.
I would say I would maybe focus on giving maybe some more screen time to our existing supporting roles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do wonder, do we ever get to the point where the Ash people become like the Fire Nation, where they're eventually on a good side? Do we ever get there? Is that possible? Because they haven't done anything like kill one of their children, like Neteum, from a narrative standpoint, be like, you can't come back from that.
I mean, I don't know. The thing is, there's such like a
It's hard
dark
because,
horse. Like, they're so different from like what the humans and what all of the other tribes are trying to do. Because they like just accidentally happen to also want to destroy everything with the humans.
But
the
my question
humans
is,
also inherently hate them as well.
Yes. So I wonder if that's what maybe pushes them to be like reluctant allies. I don't know. I'm not saying it has to happen. I'm just wondering if
There's
it will
something
not.
interesting
I
that
think
could
it
be done there.
Yeah, I think it could. But I also don't feel like I need them to ever be on a good side. It depends on where they want to take the story, I think. Could go either way. Anyways, just want to throw that out there, that a possibility.
Indeed.
So, yeah. Plus, if the humans destroy everything, what's left to destroy? So, at what point do we have nothing left to fight?
Indeed.
So, anyways.
So next up we have Reception. Have you seen the RT scores for Fire and Ash?
Yeah, cinema score also got an A.
A.
Triple A. And then
What
last
did
I
you-
saw was like 70 critic score, like 92 audience score.
Okay.
Is that right?
They
close?
both have gone down.
Oh.
Critic scores at a 68, and audience
Eight.
scores at a 91.
Oh, well, that's
Yeah. I critic score, I think that's kind of a little mind-boggling to me.
I'm in like the middle of the two. I'm not quite at 90, but I'm not at 70. I'm like at 80. Solidly so. So,
Still bizarre to me.
yeah. They've always kind of treated the franchise like that.
Box office. Oh my gosh, where did I put it? So, this one, there you are.
It's pretty dang high. I mean, I know Zootopia made headlines, but I feel like you have to remember, like, they had a much longer weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think all things considered, this is very strong.
I definitely agree with you. It's made 345 worldwide.
Yeah, I think if they had a longer weekend, they would have gotten where Zootopia got.
Its
Whatever.
opening weekend domestically was 88 million. Avatar's the first was 77. Way of Water was 134. And Way of
Interesting.
Water ended up grossing 2,300,000,000. So, if you had to predict where Fire and Ash ends at the end of its box office run, where do you think it would be?
So, Avatar Way of Water had a higher opening weekend,
Yes.
basically. I would say, like, because, I mean, what the heck is its competition? Nothing. This is the competition. Zootopia already came out, had a big head start, so that's not going to affect anything. Marty Supreme's obviously being talked about a lot, but it does not have a wide release, so that is not going to... Very different movies, very different audiences. I don't know. I feel like it could go on to do some great stuff. And I also feel like the conversation around it has been really, really good, which encourages people to come back. Plus, with the trailers thing that they're doing with Doomsday, I
with
think could do
Varang and
something.
Quidditch in this movie, I feel like that element alone has given it a lot more buzz online.
I would say maybe I don't think it's gonna do what Way of Water did, but I still think it's gonna do really well. Maybe like 1.7 billion.
Okay.
I was thinking 1.5, but then I'm like,
My guess is 1.4. That's what I'm going to
Really?
lock in. I think
Okay.
it's going to be around 5.
yeah. I was originally thinking 1.5, but that's okay.
I think
It is what it is.
I hope I'm wrong, but I think 2 billion is out of the question.
I think so too.
But I think it's still going to do really well still
Yeah.
considering. So that is locked in. Next up is draft updates. So I had Avatar Fire and Ash on mine. With the scores added, Avatar Fire and Ash gave me 70 points, which
Period.
was very needed. It is my highest one. SpongeBob Search for SquarePants also came out this weekend. That one has given me 60 points so far. That is my second highest.
Damn. Good weekend for you,
Yeah, a very much needed weekend for me. Those added to my score, I am now at 390 of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 films. So I'm a little over halfway. I think Avatar still has some push to give, so I'm sure that will continue to help me probably a decent amount as the month goes on. You only have Marty Supreme left. You are currently at 440 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 films. So you are a ways over halfway. So I don't know. I'm interested to see how far Avatar can push.
Yeah.
What's the
What'd you say you were at? 390?
390?
Okay. Oh, I feel like. And that's with the updated box office numbers?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I feel like I still have a good head start.
You have a very good head
especially-
start.
Especially since I have one more film.
The draft scores for the previous films, Avatar went on to get 123, Way of Water got 112. So if it can grow like that, there might be something.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with similar cinema score, IMDb scores similar for both. And it has basically very similar scores to Way of Water. So it's really just that box office continuing to go forward.
Yeah.
We shall see. I feel like I've been knowing this for a while that I think you won this one. But like I think whenever Predator came in, that's when I was like, "Oh, that's like really high performing."
That was like my F1 where I was like, I thought it was going to do good. I didn't know it was going to do that good. F1 was like shocking to me. I was like, wait. Because I think that was still my highest one for that round.
I believe so. It was really high.
It might have been maybe the highest between our two, even.
Oh, Zootopia's at 92 right now.
No, I meant
Between both of us,
that one.
probably.
Yeah. Yeah, Zootopia does. Thanks, Zootopia.
Honestly, we should have had Avatar and Zootopia be like the same thing.
Yeah. Didn't quite realize that Zootopia would do what it did, and then Avatar is probably not going to do 2 billion. So we know for next time there's not going to be another one of either of those films for a while, so we won't have to worry about that kind of powerhouse.
Yeah. And then I went ahead and added up The Housemaid. That's at 58, which isn't bad.
Oh yeah, well neither of us put that on our list.
No, I've been tracking some of the ones that we didn't pick
Mm-hmm.
to see if there were any obvious picks that we should have gotten for.
Yeah, there's a few of them.
Yeah, looking at you, Roof Man.
Yeah, I even thought about it. I'm like kicking myself that I picked Regretting You over Roofman. I was between those two. I really was. I don't know, man.
Regretting You and Eternity are both tied right now for 47 points. Eternity was mine, Regretting You yours.
Yeah.
Those are the weakest links that we picked so far.
It's crazy. At least for Eternity, that's crazy. Regretting You, I'm like, yeah. But Eternity, I'm like, that was good.
Well, I think it didn't get a cinema score was a big thing of that.
Just crazy. That was one of those, like, we were floored didn't get a wide release.
Crazy.
Well, I guess maybe it did, but it was a week late. I don't know. Anyways. So crazy.
The last bit of our episode I wanted to do before we logged off, it is almost our year 2026, and I wanted to ask you, do you think there are going to be any potential billion-dollar movies coming up, if you had to guess?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I don't have a list of the movies coming out in front of me. I'm sure Doomsday is, despite however bad that's going to be. I'm thinking maybe the Odyssey will, because I think people are like, nah, but I'm like, did y'all not see what Oppenheimer did? Now, I know that was like a whole like Barbenheimer thing. I mean, that surely...
I feel like the Odyssey is standing really well on its own.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I would not count that out. I think it has a chance. Even if it's... Because, I mean, Oppenheimer, yes, it had good support from the Barbenheimer thing, but it was still a 3-hour R-rated war drama, whatever you want to call it. Not war, but like...
Less interesting than war. It's a biopic about science.
Yeah. So, and that still got really close to $1 billion. So I would pretty much say the Odyssey. Maybe Moana. We'll see. I would be totally fine if I'm wrong about that. That one's like a half. I'm holding in my fingers for counting, and that was like a half finger for me.
Ooh, what do you think Mandalorian? Do you think Mandalorian and Grogu's going to be in that conversation?
Yes, I do actually. Because people hated on the sequels, but they still all did really well.
I'm very curious. It's going to be an interesting jump going from Disney Plus to the cinemas.
That's true. But that's also with, Star Wars getting a lot of hate.
But the
that's-
Mandalorian has always kind of been on the outside. But then season 3 happened, and then it was kind of talked about in that same vein. But I think it's hard to truly keep Mando
Plus-
and Grogu out of it.
Yeah. Again, like it's like a Lilo and Stitch situation. They're gonna milk the heck out of Grogu in order to get people there. So I do think so. And then, well, Shrek's not coming out. I think it got pushed back to 2027.
Ooh, that is what I'm seeing.
Mm-hmm. So that's not in the conversation anymore.
What about? I don't think Supergirl will.
I don't think so. I don't think Hunger Games will. I don't think Dune will.
There is Avengers Doomsday and Doom Prophecies.
I don't think Dune will.
I don't think Dune will.
I think Doomsday
Avengers,
will...
I think, is gonna be hard not to, but
Yeah. Even if it's bad, I think enough people are gonna show up to see it
Mhm.
that it'll hit 1 billion. Rewatchability, we'll see. But
Toy Story 5.
yes, I think so. Even after Toy Story 4,
Mhm.
I think that franchise is
Oh, and then do you think Super Mario Galaxy is gonna repeat? I think it will.
I think it will. Yeah. Because I mean, the first one didn't it make just over 1 billion? Yeah, it did because it was on our list.
Yep.
Despite questionable critic reception, and this one, honestly, to me, looks better.
Off the bat, it looks better.
Yeah, I think so.
Spider-Man: Brand New Day. Do you think?
Yes, absolutely, it will. I think that one's gonna be a good Marvel movie. I was like thinking about that the other day. Oh, I can't believe we're only getting Doomsday next year, and I'm like, nope, we have a Spider-Man movie, so we have.
They feel so like
They just
such
they feel
opposite ends of the spectrum.
And I'm glad they do. That way I can still look forward to Brand New Day. So.
Well, alrighty. I think that is all that I had. Do you have any other last thoughts on Avatar? The franchise. Fire and Ash, the franchise, anything?
No, I don't think so. I think that about covers it. What a great franchise. Looking forward for more. Yeah, I don't really see it ever expanding outside of, like, I don't ever see it going into TV because I think it's just such a movie thing. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the wait.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I'm hoping maybe sometime soon we see a confirmation for Avatar 4. We'll see.
I feel like we probably wouldn't get that until it crosses the billion
Yeah,
line.
I was thinking that too. Which is fine because I'm sure it'll hit it fairly soon. So, anyways,
Well,
yeah.
alrighty. With that being said, please let us know, what did you think of Avatar Fire and Ash? What is your favorite of the trilogy so far? Let us know in the comments below. If you've made it this far, please leave a like while you're here. If you're watching us on YouTube, until next time, I'm your host, Luke.
And I'm your host, Leisha.
And thank you so much for watching Not So Straight Nerds.
Goodbye.
I see you.